Okay, well, welcome to our Essential Oils Refresher class and Essential Oils Made Easy. We're really happy to have you here. As always, you guys are valuable members of our community, and we know sometimes we can get a little bit of a reset where we just want a refresher of the information that made us fall in love with essential oils in the first place, and maybe we just need a reminder of why these are a good option and why we're using what we've got. So today we'll be discussing those 3 things that make essential oils so special, 3 reasons, 3 ways that we can use essential oils, and then some of my favorite uses for some of the top most popular oils. Now, you guys are old pros at this point, so you've probably been using a lot of different oils, and you may have questions about maybe using certain oils that you have, or if you're wondering if other oils could be used for something in particular. So make sure that you leave those questions down below, because I will answer them whenever you might be commenting on there. So the goal of this class is we're going to walk away and each one of you will be able to tell someone else 3 cool things about essential oils, 3 ways to use essential oils, and then I will briefly go over how people can get oils in their home, and we're also going to review some of the benefits of the membership that you already have. Wrong spacebar. I have 2 computers going here. So the 3 cool things about essential oils. The first cool thing about essential oils is that they are 100% safe and they're 100% natural when we're using a real pure essential oil. That means that nothing is added in there. We don't have any extra, maybe even pesticides that were used or any extra plant matter that would actually make the essential oil dangerous. It's 100% pure as far as what oils we actually want in there. So a lot of times oils can be marked as 100% pure, but that doesn't really mean anything because nobody's going and checking to see what's the content of these oils. Whereas when we use doTERRA essential oils, we can have 100% confidence, not only that they were tested so that, all the constituents and everything are right, but also that it's 100% safe, that there was no other yucky stuff even in like the soil. Maybe people weren't spraying the plant, but do we know that there's no lead or mercury or other things in the soil that we don't want to be putting directly on our body? So when we use doTERRA's essential oils, we can have 100% faith that these have been grown in the optimum conditions to make sure that we're getting real pure plant power. When we're using 100% pure oils, they're perfectly safe for people of all ages, from babies all the way on up through our most beloved senior citizens. And when we use essential oils, they're a great tool and a great option in order to support those tiny bodies, or maybe people who are struggling with more persistent aches and pains or health struggles. We have another option and another tool in our toolkit in order to support the people that we love most. When we're using essential oils with, especially young children or with older people, we really want to make sure that we are diluting the essential oils, which we'll talk about a little bit more when we talk about the 3 main ways that we can use oils. But that would be the real main population that we would have some concern about, just the way that we use the oils, not what oils we're using or how we're using them, but just we want to show some caution because we just want to make sure everybody has a really good experience when they're using essential oils. So when we're using doTERRA Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade Oils, or CPTG, we're getting the most out of any kind of essential oil because they're so potent. They're incredibly potent because these plants were harvested at the prime time, and they have all the things that we're looking for to give us predictable results with our oils. They're about 50 to 70 times stronger than using an herbal version of, you think of peppermint. So many of us love peppermint tea because it's really soothing and it's really comforting and it's wonderful for your digestive tract. But when we use peppermint essential oil, which if you're watching this, why don't you go ahead and take a drop right on your hand, and let's rub our hands together and try and breathe that in for like 30 seconds. And as you're breathing it in, notice how it makes you feel. Do you feel like your chest is opening up? You might feel a little bit more energized, a little bit more clear-headed. When we do that, we just introduced into our body the plant power of 28 cups of peppermint tea. Just one drop of peppermint is equal to the benefits of 28 cups of peppermint tea. That's incredible. And that's way more tea or anything that most of us are ever going to drink in one sitting. So we would never really be able to harness the benefits of those plants if we weren't using them in a highly concentrated form like essential oils. So we know with peppermint, some of our favorite things about peppermint is it opens up our airways. It's incredibly, like I mentioned, energizing. There's about 200 different things that we can do with peppermint. But since you guys are experienced oil pros, one of my favorite things to use peppermint for is I really love adding it into my coffee. So a really tasty treat is like a peppermint mocha where you'll make your coffee like normal and take just a little bit of cocoa powder and 1 drop of peppermint, and then your like creamer of choice, oat milk creamer or just oat milk or almond milk, whatever you like, and then just mix that up. And it's super, super tasty, and it just adds a really nice kick to your coffee without adding a bunch of other junk that we might be getting if we go to a coffee shop. So the second thing that's really cool about essential oils is how effective they are. They are often much more effective than other popular modern day approaches that we might be more accustomed to being offered these days. So the reason why essential oils are so effective is because of something really amazing that they do with our cells. And that's that they actually are able to permeate the cellular membrane. So around our cells, we have this fatty membrane, and that's a valuable tool for our cells. It's a protection from things from the outside. It keeps everything functioning inside the way that it's supposed to. But sometimes we can have things functioning inside of our cells that we don't necessarily want there, or our cellular function might be a little bit wonky. And so this is where essential oils really shine. So let's take, for instance, the example of a virus and a bacteria. So bacteria function on the outside of our cells, and viruses function on the inside of our cells. So if we have something that is viral, what are we really going to be offered to do for it? We can drink lots of fluids, we can go home and rest, and we just kind of wait it out, right? Because our inside of our cells, we're kind of expecting our body to do what it needs to. If our body is fighting something bacterial, well, now we might have some options that are given to us that would be able to fight bacteria, right? In like a traditional medical setting. Because essential oils can permeate that cellular membrane, they're actually able to get inside of our cells, and they're able to support our cells to function even more efficiently against some of these little invaders that we might have in there. And sometimes they're even able to cross over into the little invaders and start taking care of business that way too. So essential oils are incredibly effective when we're looking at our cellular health. And if our cells are healthy, we are healthy. If we don't have cellular health, that's when we're going to find that we're starting to have a lot of different things pop up. A great example of this, how effective essential oils are at permeating that cellular wall, is On Guard. On Guard is one of our favorite oils for immune support. We love using it if we feel like we're coming down with something, but we also use it as a preventative measure in order to keep our immune system strong. And when we think of that idea that essential oils are able to permeate into the cell and help things functioning properly, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because if our cells are working properly and they're already getting these chemical communications from essential oils to keep their game up and nope, we're going to work like this and this is what we're going to do, there's not going to be a lot of room for these little invaders to make a home and to get really settled and start reproducing, right? So some ways that we love to use On Guard. I love using it for, like I said, for diffusing it. It smells beautiful, as you guys know. But as we're diffusing it, we're getting so many benefits. It promotes that healthy immune function. It's incredible if you are coming down with a sore throat or you're just kind of scratchy. Because of the oils that are in there, it will actually kind of coat and numb your throat while also helping your body heal. And it's wonderful as a cleaner. It's really, really cleansing around the home. We've been spraying all of the doorknobs and all of like the high touch areas with an On Guard and alcohol spray. And that's been an awesome sanitizer option to have in our back pocket. So the third cool thing about essential oils is that they're really affordable. And they're much more affordable than traditional medical care, maybe. If you think of maybe the average copay, right, is probably about $30 or so, and you go, and then the time that it takes out of your day to go to the doctor, and then driving yourself there costs gas, and then the time of being there itself, and then it's usually a really quick visit, and then add on to that your sick time, right? It can be expensive. Being sick is expensive. But sometimes we may have things pop up in our home that we can kind of take care of ourselves, like we have an earache and we're able to use tea tree oil and basil and lavender, and it's, so cheap in order to support our body. Or we may come down with something that maybe is of a nature that traditional medical care, more modern medical care doesn't really have a lot to offer for us for support. And we're able to use our oils to support our body and make a really quick recovery too, because our body is now able to do what it already wants to do. So when we do that, we're able to use just pennies per drop to use essential oils. And when you add it up, how many oils you actually have to use, you don't use that many because you only use a few drops, right? It ends up being just like a couple of dollars for us to support our body back to health. And that's incredible. We have genuinely saved hundreds of dollars a year in our medical costs because our bodies aren't unwell. We're really able to operate more from a space of wellness instead of a space of sickness. And that saves us so much money. Being sick is really, really expensive. Here's my kitty. One of my favorite oils to use to kind of keep us sharp in this way is actually lavender oil, which surprises a lot of people because people love to think of lavender for sleep and relaxation, which is super important. But it's also really good for helping our body have a healthy inflammatory response. So what that means is, especially as we're moving forward now into this time of year, it's getting to be springtime and the trees are going to be blooming, like tons of stuff is happening, right? There's going to be a lot of pollen in the air and that is going to make us, now what's going to happen, right? We're getting super itchy eyes, we're getting a runny nose, a cough starts to show up, and that can actually develop into more serious things, right? If we've got like a lot of postnasal drip and just a lot of stuff going on. Lavender oil, when we have that healthy inflammatory response, we're actually able to support our body so we don't even get to that point of being really bugged. We're not having that histamine response, that really, really elevated histamine response that many of us have just gotten used to dealing with. So that alone can save so much money if we're able to tackle one of the most common ailments around this time of year for so many Americans. If we could wipe that off the table with just a few drops of essential oils a day, just imagine. So that's the three really cool things about essential oils, that they are safer, cheaper, and more effective than a lot of other options that many of us are used to using. So the three ways to use oils, you guys know these, I'm sure of it, but I don't know that you're doing it enough. So we're going to talk through all the different ways that you can use them and what the benefits of them may be and why we kind of want to elevate it to the next level. Like, we've got the bases down, but why do we need to up level in this way? So the first cool way that we can use our oils is aromatically. I know you guys all have your diffusers. If you don't have a diffuser, you need one. And if you only have one diffuser, you need more, because we're not going to use our diffuser if we have to keep unplugging it and moving it from room to room. That's just it's not conducive to a good habit. So have your diffusers set up in the rooms where you want them and run your diffusers. Make it part of your day where you decide how you're going to feel that day. You make an intentional choice to feel a certain way and diffuse those oils. Get that diffuser pumping. When we are using oils aromatically, we're introducing all of these tiny little particles of essential oils into the air. And as we breathe them in, it affects us in two ways. The first way is that it will actually hit our respiratory system and it will go to work in those tissues in a different way than any other modality of using our oils. So we're getting physical benefits from using essential oils. Also, when we're breathing them in, they actually cross the blood-brain barrier. So we're getting full body spread of the benefits of essential oils through aromatic usage. The same goes if we put a drop on our hands and we're breathing it in like that. The second way that we get benefits from this is one of the quickest ways for us to notice emotional benefits with our essential oils. And it might seem hokey or like you're not really sure if it's really working or, how could that possibly work to help us feel better? But it's not. It's super scientific and it's super incredible. So when we breathe in a smell, right? We smell something. Our olfactory bulb is like right up here. It's right at the top of your nose. This starts to process what's going on, and it sends those signals to the rest of it sends it to your limbic system, which then sends signals to the rest of your body. Now, they also have found that we have these sense of smell receptors in all kinds of crazy places in our body. We have them in our kidneys. We have them all spread throughout our body because our whole body reacts to the signals that our limbic system is about to send based on what we just smelled. So when we inhale, we're quickly sending these signals all to our body matched up with some kind of a chemical that we just breathed in. Whatever we were breathing in, whatever the chemical response to that was, we're able to change the way that our body feels physiologically. And we're also able to change the way that we're thinking because emotions are chemicals and essential oils are chemicals. And so when we introduce that, we actually change the chemical thought process of what's going on. So aromatic usage is one of the most popular ways to use essential oils, and no day should go by where you are not using your oils several times a day for the aromatic benefits. The second way that we can use our oils is topically. So we talked about using these for benefits for your skin, using them if you've got like stiff muscles and joints and things like that, or if we've got like a rash. Now, we talked at the beginning about the two populations that should always be diluting with a carrier oil. Do you remember who they were? So we have young kids and older ones, right? But really all of us, for the best results, we should all be using a carrier oil when we use our essential oils. When we apply essential oils topically with no carrier oil, sometimes we might think that our body soaked it up because it's gone pretty fast. But the reality is that most of the oils have flashed off of your skin. So they evaporated into the air, but you didn't get the benefits into your skin that you thought you were getting. In fact, only about 4% of what you put on your skin will be absorbed by your skin if you don't use a carrier oil. So that's a big waste of your oils, not using a carrier oil. If you do use a carrier oil, it doesn't dilute the effects of the oils that you're using at all. But all it does is it helps keep that oil trapped to your skin because you've got this heavy fatty oil, right? And so it keeps that oil trapped on the skin and it gives your skin time to actually absorb the oils. It will also dilute the sensation of the oil a little bit, but not the effects that we're looking for. So actually, all of us would benefit from using a carrier oil when we use our oils. Fractionated coconut oil is an awesome carrier oil to use because the fats have been kind of altered on it a little bit. So it's not gonna, some people, their skin can be really sensitive to coconut oil and it's not gonna give you those effects. It won't stain your clothes and it's not as heavy and greasy, but you can use a lot of carrier oils for a lot of different things. It depends on what you're looking for. Grapeseed oil is another kind of neutral oil that a lot of people like to use. Apricot seed oil is wonderful for your skin. Tamanu seed oil is awesome for your skin. So there's different options that you have depending on what you want to do. But if you're making a roller bottle, I definitely recommend fractionated coconut oil because the other oils can go rancid if you're not using them up fast enough. The third way that we can use oils is internally. Now, internally, this is something that is doTERRA specific. We don't want to just go and grab, I don't have to tell you guys this because you guys are here. You already know it. We're not just going to go grab other oils willy-nilly and start using them for all kinds of stuff, right? But internally, now we're introducing oils into different systems of our body, different tissues, and they're going to be absorbed differently. So drinking oils in your water is an awesome way to support your gut health, and your gut health is your overall health. You can add them into veggie caps or you can do drops right under your tongue. Hi, Nunu. So, when we're taking oils under our tongue, this is a really quick way to hit a lot of capillaries. It's a really good way to get oils into your bloodstream super quickly. So under the tongue, we are looking at overall systemic spread. Roof of the mouth is more focused towards like your brain and pretty intuitive, right? So that's why we take frankincense and we put it on our thumb and we push it to the roof of our mouth for about 30 seconds, because that allows time for those tissues to absorb, and it's upward bound. Under the tongue, super fast. It's soaked in pretty fast, but you want to let it sit there for a couple seconds before you swallow, or else you're just swallowing it all. Veggie caps is a great way to take oils like oregano or even On Guard, if that's a spicy one for you. DDR Prime can be spicy for some people, or maybe there's oils that we just don't really want to taste. So taking them in a capsule, that's a great way to get several oils at a time and take them in a pill. If you want to, you can also add a little bit of like olive oil into the capsule too, in order to just add a little bit of a fat, which can be a little bit easier on your stomach. So that's the 3 ways to use oils. Now, if we were to up level each of these, right? So we talked about aromatic. We should be using these several times a day for all of, we want to get in the habit of checking in with how we actually feel. Not just like using the same diffuser blend all the time, but start to learn some of the emotional benefits, learning the emotional benefits behind oils and what they do for us, or even just listening to our gut. Sometimes we'll almost be able to smell something before we actually physically smell it. And that's your brain telling you that it's craving those chemical constituents. It wants that. Just like when we crave, they say if we're craving chocolate, I think that our body actually wants like magnesium or something like that. Like our body doesn't just randomly crave stuff. It's never random. Even when you're craving cake, like that's your gut bacteria craving sugar. Like, there's always something behind it. But with essential oils, when we have those little blips of like, oh, I think I want to use this oil, listen to that, really listen to that, and use the oil as much as you can, because the more you do, the louder those little blips will get. And then you're going to be able to navigate how to support yourself emotionally with your oils really seamlessly. And that is such a good feeling. When we're using oils topically, how to up level that, make our own perfumes, or really get into a practice when we get out of the shower that we have maybe blends that we really enjoy, and we apply those topically. The Beautiful Body Mist is an amazing thing to have on hand, and then you can add a couple of oils into that. Geranium is a beautiful feminine oil. Geranium and Arbor Vitae are really supportive to your overall skin health, and it smells really nice. Find your favorites, but keep those there, and take the time to give yourself a body massage to moisturize and keep your skin healthy. This is not extra at all. This is something that we can do to support our body. We're getting all over body benefits when we use our oils like that, and we deserve to be caring for ourselves in this way, and we deserve to smell wonderful because that means that we're getting those little aromatic benefits throughout the day. When you think of oils like, let's see, what's some of my favorites? Oh, we'll take lavender. I love lavender. And it has especially doTERRA's lavender is so like herbal, and it's not like any other lavender that I've ever smelled before. That's the oil of communication though. And that can be communication with others, but also communication with ourselves. And so if we're going into a situation where we know we've kind of silenced the way that we actually feel, and because of someone else's expectations or whatever it is, how awesome would it be to have applied lavender all over that day before we left, and we get little blips of it, and we're able to remind ourselves that it's really important that we do communicate how we feel, even to ourselves. So it just unlocks this whole new way of thinking just by having these aromas around. And with the internal usage, drink oils in your water. It's so good for your gut health. 5 drops of lemon in your water a couple of times a day is an awesome way to promote a really healthy gut lining. And then you think of all the other tools that we have, like Zendocrine. We can have Zendocrine in our water, and that helps support our liver function. Or green mandarin is awesome for how our stomach processes acid. So just adding it into your water, and you can make these super good combos. Like I have an infused water book if you guys want it, but a recipe with kiwi, like smashed up kiwi in your water, and then a few drops of geranium. It was so good. It was so, so delicious. So you can really take spa water to the next level. And if we don't all deserve spa water, I don't even know what we're doing here. So now we're just going to quickly bop through some of the oils that we know and love so much, right? So we have lemon oil. Lemon is a wonderful cleanser for your body, and it's a wonderful cleanser for your environment. My tip for lemon is we want to use this one a lot because lemon actually has some constituents in there that help your body protect itself against environmental threats. So environmental threats can really be a lot of different things, but we think of as we move through seasons where a lot of people are kind of coming under the weather, or we have big outbreaks of different things, our body, and then sometimes it's new things that our body hasn't had to fight before, so it hasn't had any time to prep itself. So any tools that we can add to our body in order to help our immune system stay strong and function properly, we have a better shot of our body, making those little fighters that it needs to against some of these new things. And lemon is really great at supporting our immune system and helping protect us against these environmental threats. So diffuse lemon a lot, add it into your surface cleansers and things like that. Okay, just checking. Add it into your surface cleansers, and your body's going to be really happy for it. It's also great to remove like sticky residues off of things. And if you have sticky residues or things on wood, it won't take the varnish off of wood like some of the other oils that will take stuff off. It won't take paint off and things like that, but it is actually a wood conditioner. So it's actually good for wood if you put lemon on it. Frankincense. We love frankincense. We use frankincense all the time, right? We've talked about frankincense a lot. It's so good for our cellular health, but the real thing that's really cool about frankincense is it's an amplifier of oils. So it helps other oils work better. It helps our body be way more receptive to these oils and get ready to make a change when we add the oil. So my tip around frankincense is apply frankincense first on an area before you apply the next oil. Give about 15 seconds after you apply the frankincense and then add your next oil on, because your body's going to be starting to process that frankincense. And then when you add in that next oil, it's just like the 1-2 punch. It really just knocks it out. So layer essential oils with frankincense. Frankincense first, your next oil after that, about 15 seconds. Then we have DigestZen. So good for anything to do with stomach upset. My tip around this one is that a lot more people have digestive issues than they realize. It's one of those things of like, if you've never known it to be any other way, then you don't realize that it's supposed to be another way. So, we really shouldn't be feeling a lot of digestive discomfort after we eat, or maybe like burping a lot after we eat, or hiccups after we eat, or anything that kind of shows like your body's doing something, gurgles and stuff like that. That's not a normal digestive signal. So DigestZen at mealtimes is going to help support healthy digestion and just help your body process through what it's got going on. It's also awesome if there's like a little bug going on, or you're feeling kind of car sick or something like that. Deep Blue, we know it and love it for aches and pains. We've had several people in our community who have added it into Epsom salt baths for real all over body pain that's usually caused by nerve inflammation. And this is also really good for stubborn head tension, like the kind where you're going to be sensitive to lay and a migraine, okay? It's really good for that. Breathe is incredible for opening up our airways, especially when we're trying to support our respiratory system. Our respiratory system, it deals with a lot, right? We're breathing in all kinds of really cruddy air all the time, and our respiratory system is, our immune system's about to come in and function depending on what it's been breathing in, right? So we want to support healthy, clear airways so that our lungs can function at optimum levels. So diffusing this at night, even if you're not sick, is a really great way to help support those open airways. And then using a drop on your chest before you're going to go out and exercise is a great way to open up that chest and make sure that you're really getting good oxygen, because oxygen, when we're breathing it in, your blood gets pumping as you're exercising, and it's delivering all of that oxygen all throughout your body. So we want to make sure we're getting good, deep belly breaths. It's also good too if you feel anxious and you're noticing that you're taking like little shallow breaths, taking a couple drops of breathe on your hands, breathing it in, and maybe even putting one hand on your belly as you breathe in. It's just a really calming way. You can do one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And it's super calming and it's really relaxing, but it also lets you physically feel how much you're breathing. And if you go for those big belly breaths, you can actually push your hand away from your body with that really deep belly breath. It's going to be really calming. Wrong space bar. The last one, I believe the last one, is wild orange. Wild orange is incredibly energizing. It's super uplifting to our mood. But a lot of people don't know that it's actually really soothing to your stomach too. So you can drink wild orange in your water if you're noticing an upset stomach, or maybe you get a lot of acid after you eat, or you're just struggling with a lot of acid in general. If that's the case, most likely it's something in your diet that you're probably not expecting. And if you took that away for a while, you would probably notice a huge shift. But maybe not. Maybe it's something that you can't control or you just haven't figured it out yet. Wild orange is an awesome one to add into your water. It's really gentle on your stomach, but it helps your acid levels kind of level out. So at this time, if you're watching this class, I would highly suggest writing down what your top 3 health concerns are, because every family is dealing with something different. And I'm fully confident that oils can help with it. And it's time to really kind of think about, what's been your normal, and do you want that to still be your normal? It's a learning process, especially for you guys who have already been using oils for a while. Your top 3 health concerns right now are probably very different than the top 3 that you had when you got started using oils. And that's okay. That's a good thing. We want to actually revisit this ideally every 3 months, because we should be seeing some kind of measurable shift. Really, our idea here is we want to stop our health from being this mysterious thing that's kind of existing separate of ourselves. And instead, we want to be such an active participant in our own healthcare that we're able to notice these little shifts and notice where we're seeing improvements and what new things we may have uncovered because this thing improved. So really look at what your top 3 health concerns are. This is emotional health and physical health. And write those down. And if you want to, you can send them to me, or you can turn to your own reference book and start to see what tools you already have that could help you tackle this, and what might you need to grab in order to tackle this in a new way. What are we looking for here? So I'd love to hear from you. If you want to share what your top 3 are, you can send them to me in a message or send them to whoever helped you get started with oils. But don't skip this part. Don't skip this part at all. And don't think that something that you've got going on is beyond oils, because there's probably something in there that we can support with oils, whether it's the emotional toll that something might be taking on us, or maybe it is the physical toll. Sometimes we just need a fresh set of eyes on a situation, and for what might work and what might have helped with other people. No matter what, if we want to feel awesome, everybody should be taking doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. This is because our food that we have access to, even if we're eating really great high quality foods, we're not getting what we used to get out of our food. I think it's something like, in order to get the benefits from one apple that you could have gotten like in the 1950s, now you would have to eat like 30 apples. Like, it's not we can't say like, oh, I'm eating whole food, so I'm all set anymore. Industrialization and industrialized farming has completely changed the way that we get our nutrients. So because of that, we have to be supplementing. So doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack, it's going to check a lot of the boxes for you. You're going to get a really good multivitamin in there, which all of the ingredients that are in there are incredibly formulated so that your body will actually absorb it. It's a loose powder pack, so that way your body can actually soak up everything that's in there. And everything, some of the things are, it's just all vitamins that we can't find easily other places. You have your good balance of omegas in the Z Omega, and then you get Alpha CRS, which is your cellular health blend, and that's really it has a lot of brain supporting things as well, and that's going to help with like memory and focus, everything across the board. People who take these notice way more energy, way less discomfort. They notice that their liver and their digestive system is functioning better. Many people notice that their eyes look better, and one of the biggest things is that the whites of their eyes are whiter. That's like a really sneaky little sign of health and health benefits, is when the whites of your eyes get whiter. Improved immune function, way less stress, and improved mental health in general, cardiovascular health, and just a better, healthy inflammatory response. So everybody should be trying these. There's a reason why these are doTERRA's #1 product. And the cool thing is that they have that 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you've been sitting on it and you're like, oh, I don't know, it just feels like so much, take it for 30 days. If you feel like you didn't notice a difference, you can get 100% of your money back. It's literally a no-risk option. The only risk is that you're going to take them and love them and feel so good, and that's not even a risk at all. So if you've taken these 3 things, or you know someone who could really use oils in their life, you might be wondering how the best way is to help someone get oils. It's best for everybody to have their own account with doTERRA, because you know the benefits that you get with doTERRA, right? You're getting the membership perks anyway, like groups like this and one-on-one education and a lot of things that you're not going to get. You know, if you share your account with someone, I don't even know they exist. So there's that. But they also are able to get cheaper oils, and they're able to earn points back on all of their purchases and earn a lot of oils for free. There's a lot of perks to that membership. So there's 3 ways that people can buy doTERRA. The first way is retail, which is the most expensive way for someone to buy oils. And you don't buy retail unless you're buying it from like, you know, a hair salon or a chiropractor. It's only in like a business to business type setting do you pay retail. Wholesale is the way that you guys got started with your oils. It's like having that Costco membership or that Best Buy membership. And then wholesale plus the points is the way that most of us get our oils in doTERRA, which is even cheaper than wholesale. And that's through that LRP program. But if you're helping someone get started, wholesale is going to be the way that they're going to get started, and you can help them build their own kit, or maybe a bundle is going to be the best deal for them. Feel free to reach out to someone, one of the wellness advocates in the group, and we'll help you kind of see, because we know a little bit more about some of the kits that exist, and there's lots of little hidden gems all over doTERRA's website, so we might be able to help them save a little bit of money and kind of tackle that out, and then they can jump into all the benefits with their membership. So these are some of the kits, but thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited for you to kind of revisit your oil usage and up level and see all of the ways that you can actually make your life so much better by using these tools in your home, and kind of shift it from a luxury kind of fun thing into the main they're our main source of healthcare, which is incredible. And I'm so happy to have them, because anything that comes up, I'm able to turn and say like, okay, this is what I'm going to use. And we're able to tackle it in a really empowered way instead of from fear and stress. So I'm so excited for you guys to kind of take that next step and step more into it. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please go ahead and comment them below, and we will be seeing you guys soon.